Mileage log. December 7th, 2014. Los Penasquitos Canyon. 17 miles. Done. Keep standing. Don't sit yet. To drink, drain the Camelback. Chug a recovery drink. To eat, a Vega bar. 16 grams of protein. I stop eating after 3/4 of it for several reasons. One, I can't choke down another bite. That, after a long run, sick feeling. Two, this is like 260 calories. And though this run burns so much more than that, I'm still gaining weight. Why am I gaining weight? Mileage log. December 14th, 2014. Ojai River Trail. 11 miles. Done. To drink? I don't need recovery drink. Easy run. To eat? A bar. My kids want to have some, so I only end up having half of it. I don't mind this. Sitting splayed out on the sidewalk, I look down at my stomach bunched up, and I thought these shorts used to fit me. I feel somewhere between annoyed and ugly. But 11 miles was cake, and this is what I love about marathon shape, when the shorter runs feel so easy. It's a horse trail, so I just run it in my road shoes. They probably have close to 1,000 miles on them. It'll take me 6 months before I realize it was more than just old shoes that caused my problems. We're out of town, and I have a 4-hour car ride home. I'm restless in the car, uncomfortable. Why does my shin hurt? It aches, a deep, gentle hurt. Mileage log, December 21st, 2014, Lake Hodges, 19 miles, done, barely. This is the first time in my life I've ever had to stop running from pain. Sure, I've stopped for other reasons, fatigue, mental breakdown, equipment failure, poop. The pain in my shin has evolved. It's no longer that deep, gentle ache. It's that plus something sharp, something strong, something right there. But I can't pinpoint it. I'm running with my dad for the last 5 miles, and when I stop, I point, but I realize it's so much bigger than one spot. This gives me hope. Must be just shin splints. I'll ice when I get back to the car and rest all week. I start running back to the trailhead, flinching. Just a few miles left. I'm running on the race course. It's an easy trail, nothing even very technical, wrapping around Lake Hodges and spanning back toward the San Pasqual Valley. I keep my eye on my speed and realize that if I keep this up for the race, I'll get a big marathon PR. It's renewed inspiration. I want it so bad. It's nearly impossible to walk to the car when I'm done. I can't put any weight on my left leg. I try not to cry because my dad is there and I don't want him to panic. Suddenly, I am very scared. I can no longer run and can barely walk. The race is in 3 weeks. I spend hours on the stationary bike, a futile attempt at staying in cardiovascular shape while my alleged shin splints go away so I can still race, so I don't gain weight. I think about all the calories I don't burn when I don't run. I think about my muscles atrophying, vestigial. I have trouble sleeping because when I'm agonizing over something, I lie awake, a crazed mind cycling through every possible bad outcome, every way this is my fault, every imagined side effect, fully knowing that sleep would help. I feel profoundly alone. And when I do sleep, I wake in the wee hours from the unbearable pain in my shin. It's a tibial stress fracture. I only find this out anecdotally and months later because my doctor, also a trail runner who happily ran the marathon we were both supposed to run, is so goddamn nonchalant. And because my insurance is horrific and any x-ray plus bone scan plus MRI costs would have to be covered out of pocket, pre-deductible by me, so it's not like I was fighting for the diagnostics. A stress fracture's crack is so slight and new that it won't show up on imaging. until buildup, scar tissue known as edema forms in the bone, until repeated MRIs, until bill after bill after bill. Take it easy, my doctor says. Elliptical only. Only run a few miles when it feels better. I can't even do elliptical, I say. I can't really walk. It hurts too much. My father is a runner, and he looks like it. Lean as all hell. My mother is not a runner. My mother is not lean. My mother's weight fueled more distasteful comments from my dad than I can count, which nobody who knows my dad will believe because it's hard to reconcile the volatile dad from my childhood to the kind old man he's grown into. My older sister is tall and lean too. She was never athletic, but she got my dad's body for it. Me, though, I am the athlete. I'm the runner. I'm supposed to be like my dad. It isn't until I hit my 20s, post-college, get that first seated desk job, that I realize that no, I'm made like my mother. I have her kindness, her generosity. I have breasts. I have fat. I do not have her every answer to every Jeopardy question. I very quickly determined that I need to actually run, to look like a runner. I need to run to not be a bit overweight. And with that, was the joy sucked right out of it? It doesn't matter. Joy doesn't matter anymore because I'm completely bound up in it. I'm addicted. I'm addicted to running for so many reasons, and not all of them good. Finally, 3 months later, the pain is mostly gone. I can walk without limping. Mileage log. March 8th, 2014. 2 miles. I'm running again. Little bits. Trails, soft ground. Oh God, I've missed this so much. After, I lie down on the cool concrete front steps of my house and cry from relief. To drink, whiskey. A month later, the pain is back. I give up. I stop the elliptical, even the stationary bike. I don't exactly stop eating, but nobody notices how I never sit down for meals because I'll say, I ate so much of it while I was cooking it. I eat tiny amounts of food. It feels good to be in control of something, one thing. It's been 5 months, I tell my doctor. I started running again and was fine for a month or so, but now I'm feeling pain again. I'm losing weight, I tell him. I don't tell him how I barely eat. I go months without a period, I tell him. I remember last fall how I had that one period that lasted 70 days. I don't tell him how I was also barely eating that fall during marathon training. Sounds like it's time for that MRI, he says. It's declined by my insurance. I start trying out this thing where I'm partially honest. You're looking skinny, a friend says. Well, I think it's because I'm not running, I tell her. So I don't need to eat as much. I just think I need a little more bulk on me when I'm training, I say. I probably don't make eye contact. I don't think it's very healthy. I should eat more. I'm just not as hungry. This is not a lie. This is fully truthful, but this is not the full truth. It's been 6 months since a stress fracture. 6 months of being paranoid, of gaining weight while sidelined, of finding something, anything to control, and that something being how little I eat. 6 months to fight the rationale that because I run, I can and should eat whatever the fuck I want. 6 months to come to terms with this, to realize this is how I am now. I mustn't eat much now. 6 months to try not to think, you're fucking up your bones. You have to stop this. You have to stop. They say running is 90% mental. So where does that leave a runner who can't run? I think of my formative years, running cross country as a teenager. I think of the girls I spent all my time with, wiry things with 0 body fat. The girls whose bony shoulders I wrap my sweaty arms around after a race. the girls I'd see naked in the locker room. During the Women's World Cup, I watch a lot of soccer. I fixate on the remarkable bodies of these women, so muscular, so invincible, so not bony. Why can't I find this beauty enough for me? And in that same breath, I step on the scale anyway. I feel triumph when I finally go beneath a number I haven't seen since high school. I'm in my underwear, and the scale is in front of a full-length mirror. Maybe thinking I needed to run to look like a runner was naive. Maybe I just needed to starve myself to look like a runner. I touch my hip bones. I touch my ribs. I hate that I like it. I hate that I crave it. I hate this so much. I barely sleep. I still wake up in the wee hours of the morning, a little dizzy with a twingy pain in my shin. I get up and take a calcium supplement and then go back to bed, but can never fall back asleep. This is new for me, this being so tired but not sleeping thing. I used to be the kind of person who could sleep anywhere and anyhow, the kind of person who was always exhausted enough to crash. I used to be a runner. I meet my running buddy to try to run at our favorite spot. I'm so weak I can barely keep up. I can barely finish. She's so supportive, shrugging off my lackluster pace, shrugging off my need to stop. I feel hungry. I feel meek. I feel powerless. Patches of my scalp tingle. I ask myself, how much did I sleep last night? Not much. How much did I eat yesterday? If I ever look like that, a friend says, tell me, stop me, shoot me. She's pointing towards a frighteningly thin woman with ribs showing through her chest, horizontal ridges between her collar and her breasts. That same weekend, I notice, in a picture taken of me at a reading, my thoracic cage is shadowy rib lines across my chest. Then, I think how I don't like the look of my thighs in those jeans. This month, 10 months after this injury, I run a long trail race. I've been training again, but I feel like I'm always on the edge, waiting for twinges, waiting for pain. I've been trying to be smart about eating and also balancing it with the dark parts of me that do not want to run anymore, because running means more eating, and more eating means gaining weight. But I am a runner. I've always been a runner. And even though I didn't inherit the natural leanness from my dad, I inherited this insatiable drive to move in the wilderness and to move as quickly as I can. But I'm not a predator anymore. I'm not robust. I'm not strong. Maybe I'm just trying to get away. It's fight or flight, and all I got is flight. At 3:45 a.m. in the wilderness, it's quiet, starry, cold. I'm mostly alone in a tent with my thoughts, anxieties, fears, and that's when I realize that this has everything and nothing to do with a broken bone. It's been with me all along, the way I feel about my body. Breaking, healing, breaking, over and over again. For the race, I eat without consequence. I take solid note of this, that this is the first time in a year that I've felt this uninhibited to eat. I perform really well for me. I feel strong. I fly down the hills, leaping over rocks and plants, and this is everything I've missed about running. I don't feel hungry. Sometimes my shin doesn't feel great. Most of the time, this is how I remember running. Most of the time, I feel so, so good. I suck in my stomach in the race pictures. Why is nothing good enough? The day after, I managed to sleep for 8 hours, but still wake up repeatedly in the night. I can't shake the feeling that this happiness I have with running is so fragile. Because it is. Being able to run is fragile. I am fragile. Everything about me is fragile. I I wish there was a tidy ending to this. I wish I could say, I'm fine now. But I'm not emotionally recovered in the same way that my shin might be recovered. They say a stress fracture results in edema in the bone, buildup, a tiny scar, a mixture of damage and recovery. I wonder if they x-rayed the whole of me, what would show up? Damage and recovery, edema, scar tissue on bone. I am damage and recovery. Thank you.
Celia Evans, everybody.